Tonight we're gonna be making creamy mustard chicken thighs over white rice with a side of steamed baby carrots. Welcome back to Easy Cuisine. I'm Jenny. This chicken dish from Eating Well magazine has become one of our favorites. We love the creamy sauce with the capers and the onions, and it goes great with any side dish. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing is that we want to assemble all of our ingredients to get things ready to go smoothly. I have already made my white rice according to the directions, and it's just sitting on the stove warm while we make everything else. So pick your white rice or brown rice and cook it to your directions. The first thing we want to do is I've got 4 boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and we are going to salt and pepper them. So it's about a half a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of ground pepper. I'm just gonna eyeball it. You just want to season it really well with some ground pepper. Great, that's ready to go. The next thing you're gonna want to get assembled is 2 tablespoons of olive oil divided. So I've got 1 tablespoon here and 1 tablespoon here, and we will use them separately in the recipe. And then we are going to have 1 onion that I have thinly sliced, ready to go into the pan. And then we have a bowl that I have put in a ½ cup of dry white wine and 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. So that's ready to go as well. And lastly, I have a bowl where I have measured out a ½ cup of heavy cream and 3 tablespoons of capers that I have drained. So they're in here, the 3 tablespoons of capers. So that's ready to go. And what we're gonna do is move all of this over to the stove so we can move quickly through the recipe. I also have a package of tri-colored rainbow baby carrots that I put into a steamer basket. So they're ready to go into my pot, my steamer pot. So we're now gonna move all the ingredients that we've assembled over to the stove so we can get started and move through this quickly. So my cast iron skillet has been heating for a couple of minutes over medium high. I'm adding 1 tablespoon of olive oil and making sure that that's really, really hot. And we're gonna now add our seasoned boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and we're gonna cook them for 5 minutes aside. Want that sizzle, that sound. That means your pan is good and hot and you just want to leave them alone. Turn on a timer for 5 minutes and then we will flip them. And after we flip them, I'm going to go ahead and start my carrots, which are over here in the steaming basket, and they're ready for me to turn it on. Make sure that you put enough water in the bottom underneath your steamer so that it can boil and steam your vegetables above. All right, so the thighs have been cooking for 5 minutes on one side. I'm gonna go ahead and flip them over. And set my timer again for 5 minutes. And I'm gonna go ahead and start my carrots. Turning that back eye on high. I've got the lid on so the water can begin to boil and start steaming those carrots. All right, the chicken's been cooking for 5 minutes aside. I'm going to transfer it over to a clean plate. And now while the pan's hot, I'm gonna add that second 1 tablespoon of olive oil and our onions. Our medium onion that was chopped super thin. I'm gonna give this a little stir, and then I'm gonna put a top on it and I'm gonna stir it occasionally for about 3 minutes. Okay, so the next step is we are gonna take our bowl that has a ½ cup of wine in it and a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, and we're gonna add that right to the hot pan. And while it's simmering like this, we want to scrape up any brown bits on the bottom that are going to make our sauce so good. We're going to take this down to a simmer, so it's on medium-high. I'm going to take it down so it's not boiling away. Now we are going to stir in the cream, the ½ cup of heavy cream, and 3 tablespoons of capers. There's that creamy sauce. Now I'm gonna bring that chicken back and let that nestle in to the sauce and the onions. I'm gonna bring that down just a little bit. We just want to keep it nice and warm while I check on the carrots. Okay, so the carrots are fork tender. I'm gonna turn them off. Come put it in my bowl. Add some butter. Grated Parmesan cheese. Okay, we are ready to serve. All right, let's give this a taste. Those onions almost look like pasta, the way that they're curled up in the sauce. The sauce is so creamy with a hint of the caper and the mustard. And the sweetness of the baby carrots with the salt and Parmesan cheese. Enjoy your dinner.